Hey y'all, my name is Jasmine Jones. I am a licensed clinical social worker, and you are now watching Black Girl, a therapist in the wild. And this is a little show I like to call Therapist Sips and Reviews. So, today we are reviewing the episodes of Abbott Elementary that I have not reviewed yet. We're 3 episodes behind, so we're going to just combine it all together. Yes. Episode 5, Juice. Episode 6, Candy Zombies. And Episode 7, Attack Ad. And we're drinking Minute Maid Berry Punch and vodka, yes. Okay. This down. Switch sides before I knock this over. So, how y'all doing? I know last video I was in Greece. Now I'm back home. I just needed some time to decompress from traveling. And getting back to work. So, I kind of let some things go to the wayside, but we're back now. How's everybody doing? So, I'm kind of going to just go by character. I'm just going to go by their evolution each episode. And the main focus is on, Janine, Gregory. Melissa had a little piece in episode 5, Juice. Jacob, not too much. And then, Barbara in episode 7 had like a little bit. In episode 5 with Juice. So we're going to talk about that. And Ava was just kind of like the comic relief. So she wasn't coming up as much. And this new girl, Ashley, I swear. Let's start with her because she's a new character. So in Juice, episode 5, we see Ashley like being introduced, and basically in that episode, Janine is just being a busybody and wants to fix things and introduces this new juice at the school, and it's too much juice and the kids have to go to the bathroom, like all of them, and they break the toilets. But in the B plot, Melissa has this new teacher's aide, and I was really just like, this is why I can't do people with all of that energy. They just be going from one thing to the next thing to the next thing. And I'm just like, Lord, I take deep breaths. I wanted to pop her in the mouth so bad. And I had to really like take the lesson in, because I was really just like, when Melissa decided to just, get to know her and then, let her include one of her little activities once a week. And so I was like, that's the way it's supposed to be handled, not cussing her out and telling her she needs to act like an adult. I feel in my spirit that she may have some kind of ADHD, because she's just over here hopping from one thing to the next thing. She's trying to, Melissa's trying to teach the kids. She over here doing a clips beat on a damn table and making all this noise. She loses the fucking candy in the zombie episode because she's on her phone.
Alleged candy.
So ADHD, people that have it have trouble focusing on things that they don't like. So and they get really hyperactive around it. So they're just jumping from one topic to another topic to another topic. If they're little kids, they can be very physically hyperactive and easily distractible. And so but the caveat of that is when they really enjoy something, they can hyper focus on it. So it made sense that she was sitting there just hyper focused on her cell phone. That's the thing she loves. It made sense that she could follow Ava around and do what Ava wanted her to do, because that's what she enjoys. So she out here just oh my gosh, she was just all over the place, and it was making me anxious. That's why I was getting mad, because I was getting anxious. Usually anger covers up another emotion, and so when you get angry, sometimes you got to ask yourself, what emotion is under that anger? And the emotion that was under the anger for me was anxiety. I just wanted her to sit down and do her job. I really just want her to sit down and do her job. And then the fact that she's just delusional and is like, that's why I've been to 4 schools in 4 months to just spread the love around. I'm just like, no, girl, don't do that. You got to recognize what kind of stuff is going on with you. And you got to work through that. But, a lot of us aren't there. So I had to be like, And Jacob gave Melissa good advice. He was just like, well, maybe if you got to know her, because Ava got to know her. And I'm just like, Ava easily distracted too. She be on the job when she need to be, but then sometimes she just be in La La Land doing other shit that doesn't matter. So I'm just like, girl, maybe Ava got like a low grade like ADD. So there's ADHD where like the lack of focus manifests in like this hyperactive type of way, and then there's ADD where you just lose focus and it's not hyperactive. You just are easily just distractible. I'm just like, maybe that's why they vibe, because Ava don't be focusing on what she need to be focusing on until some shit happens. And then she was just like, Ava was just like all surprised because Melissa was shocked that she was going to come help the class. And she was just like, why do people think I don't do my job? Because sometimes you don't, girl. Sometimes you just be saying stuff to make it seem like you don't care about your job or whatever. And I was just like, yes, yes. And so I think this girl named Ashley, I think they're just tolerating her because she's not a bad person. And I'm just like, I hope that eventually somebody sits her down, just like they do Janine every single time she does something that's over the top, and just says to her, like, look, I don't know what it is, but you have an issue with focusing and staying on task, and that is not helpful to the work environment. And you know, if you need support with that or something, or you need some extra like support in the classroom or whatever, let me know. But you got to acknowledge that this is the issue because it's very distractible. But you know, no, instead Melissa just kind of dumbed it down, treated her like a child, which works for the situation, but it's not going to work for the rest of her life, because everywhere she goes, ain't everybody going to be treating her like a fucking child and dumbing things down and trying to get to know her. That's why it's not realistic for what her future is. That's why I was just like, I mean, I guess we have to cater to people's issues and stuff when they don't want to work on or acknowledge that they have issues if they're nice people. That's what I got from we're going to not even acknowledge that she has an issue by just sitting down and telling her that she has an issue. We're just going to like cater to it and work around it, which works sometimes. And it seems to work at least in the classroom for now. But like she lost the candy thing because she was too focused on her phone. And then she want to dip out the whole rest of the episode. Like, you know, this is too overwhelming for me. So I'm just going to slide to the left and just get out of here. And I was just like, girl, And don't get me wrong, I've worked with hyperactive ADHD kids and shit like that. And I would just have to take deep breaths and center myself so that I can calm down enough to calm them down. But that's why I realized that I can't work in situations with a lot of kids like I couldn't be a teacher. I couldn't be in a classroom full of kids and like 20 kids and 3 of them got ADHD. And you in there and your parents ain't listening to you tell them that your kids got some issues. And then you just got to deal with them for the rest of the semester and try to keep them calm so they don't distract the class and shit like that. And I'm just like, girl, my emotions don't have, you gotta know, you gotta be aware of what you can handle. That's all I'm saying. And I know that I cannot handle a constant raining down of the hyperactiveness. I need you to be taking care of that, like doing something to work through that so that we can have a coherent, cohesive conversation and just be chill. And you know, I'm not saying that I don't have a client or two, but by the time they come to me, they like either a teenager or an adult and they figured it out enough to like be on medication. But they got like other issues besides ADHD and shit like that. So they're pretty calm in that area, but they want to talk about some other shit. And I'm just like, okay, well, whatever. So it's not a stigmatism against ADHD or ADHD kids or ADHD people. It's just that when you in the midst of it and you ain't getting no treatment and you just all over the place, that shit just makes me anxious. That's all I'm saying. And she was making me anxious and I was getting upset. And I was just like, why am I so upset? I was like, oh, because she's just all over the fucking place, changing subjects and acting like she can't hear nothing. And, you know, unless it's something that she's interested in. I was like, this girl got ADHD. So I hope that she also receives a come to Jesus moment like they give into Janine every fucking episode and shit, because she's growing and learning and whatever the fuck she doing. So in this episode, it was mainly the A plot was the juice situation, and Janine just is over here just trying to fix things.
You don't need to stand when you talk.
You don't need to talk, period.
And I think that the juice and the Halloween episode is connected because I think that the whole being by herself, being lonely, being without Tariq is pressing in on her. Like the Halloween episode, we see that she is like anxious about making friends, anxious about invite. I told you she ain't got no hobbies outside the school. And she asking everybody in the school what they doing for Halloween. And it's just like, girl. So I think in the Juice episode, like the way she deals with her anxiety is by trying to find something that she thinks needs to be fixed so she can hyper focus on that and not on her real actual problems. So, she needs the elder teachers in the school to kind of redirect her when she starts doing stuff. So Barbara was nice enough to like let them use her bathroom. But then when she wanted her little kid to cut in line because it's her classroom and then little kids are smaller than all the rest of the kids, this girl, Ashley, whatever her name is, I'm like, I gotta pee. And I'm just like, you are not a child, girl. You can wait for this little kindergartner to pee. So Ashley ruined it for everybody. And they couldn't use her bathroom. So Janine, being Janine and not listening when people say no and crossing boundaries because she's more focused on what she wants because anxiety. When Barbara has a free period, she tried to sneak her kids and Gregory kids in there and into Barbara's bathroom. And I'm just like, Janine, girl, you need to get your shit together. And then at the end, Barbara is like looking at her because they break Barbara's bathroom, and then Barbara is just going off on Janine like, no, you need to listen when I say no. No means no. There is a period at the end of my sentence, and her and Gregory just looking all mad and stuff, and I'm just like. See, I get where Janine is coming from because we're all adults, and the school facilities aren't just for Barbara. And things like that. And that's not Barbara's classroom. Like, she don't pay rent. She don't own a school, whatever. And I get what Janine is saying about how Barbara needs to explain things. And I understand that, Barbara never got help. And so she's had to do everything on her own. And she expects that everyone else is supposed to do it. So she, I guess that's a little semi-trauma from when she first started at that school. She had to do everything on her own. She had to pick up and figure it out. And so it doesn't click for her that other people aren't like her. And so every time they asked her if they can use her bathroom, she just says no. She doesn't explain what the issue is. But I also think that the issue is obvious. These little motherfuckers done broke every other bathroom in here. It looks like there's only one toilet in Barbara's room. It's not that hard to comprehend why Barbara doesn't want the whole floor of children to use her bathroom. And the same child that broke the original bathroom is gonna break Barbara's bathroom too. And I'm just like, girl, I think this little, how little kids be when they just be shoving shit in the toilet just to play with it. I think that was the situation with that little girl. You didn't break the toilet twice. Shut up. So I can see both sides, but at the same time, I'm leaning more towards Barbara and her no, because like it's obvious why she didn't want y'all in her room. She had a room full of preschoolers or kindergartners or whatever. They got itty bitty tiny bladders. They be peeing on themselves already. And so they need that bath. That's why the bathroom, they have their own private bathroom. That's the reason why it's in there. And you gonna come in there and break the only toilet that these little itty bitty children have to use. Like, that shouldn't have to be explained. Like, we just use your bathroom. Just let us use. The children already broke the other bathroom. Why the fuck would she want you in? At least the other bathrooms upstairs may have multiple toilets or something, but her bathroom had one toilet, and the child that broke the original toilet broke that toilet. What? Yes, Barbara needs to be a mentor and explain shit to these people that are younger than her, and not just cut things off and say no and not explain stuff. But this was a situation where it didn't need to be explained. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That's all it did. What needed to be explained here? You know what I mean? I'm confused. I'm confused. And then at the end, Ava got her own little private bathroom, her own little bidet. And in the Halloween episode, when they went down into the basement to find that little baby Thanos, that was so cute. I love Disney shows that are like on ABC and shit like that, because then they can use like trademark Disney stuff in their shows, and it's like you don't get to see that on anything else because it's trademarked to Disney. So I kind of like that. So I like that he was baby Thanos, and then Ava was Storm. That was cute. And Michelle was the Red Witch, or what's her name? You know, the witch from the movie, the Red Witch. I don't think she's dead. I think she's alive. I liked her character. She's like an anti-hero. She figured it out at the end. She figured out she had snapped, and she just needed to go away and learn about herself, and she would be fine. I like powerful characters that are powerful than everybody else, but then they always want to make them like just so mentally ill that they don't deserve to be here, like Legion. Like, how you gonna have this nigga be the most powerful X-Man, but the last season of Legion, nothing bad happened, so he figured himself out. So they got spoilers, they got reborn and shit like that. So if y'all ain't watched this stuff, then I'll put a little picture of what it looked like. Legion is a good ass show, and I'm mad that we didn't have another season. I'm upset. They said that like Disney didn't want to continue the shows from FX and shit, like some stupid shit. I don't know. Legion was a good ass show. So the little Red Witch, I liked her. I just wish they wouldn't give these people these severe mental health issues to where they can't just be the most powerful person. You can be the most powerful person without your brain cracking. That's all I'm saying. So Michelle was the Red Witch, and this bitch Ashley gonna copy her. I think Ashley kind of looks up to Michelle too, in this little puppy dog, childish, annoying way. And it's like, that's nice. I like people around me that have their own individual selves. I can't have people around me that like puts me on a pedestal and then is like puppy dogging around me and shit, because then when I fuck up, sometimes then people are liable to be shocked that I'm a fuck up and then just turn into some other shit. Their obsession turns into some other shit, and I can't deal with that. So it's cool if you like some of the shit I do and say and whatever, but don't copy me. Just like the janitor. He was mad that that little kid had copied his costume. I would have been mad too. I'm the original. But then I'm an Aries, so I'm the original. He was just sitting there just so confused, just upset, like, why he copying me? I was like, yes, you are, Mr. Johnson, you are the original, but this is a child and he's looking up to you, and children are wont to do that. And I don't mind if it's a child, because there's a whole developmental area in childhood where kids just look up to adults, and that's normal. But when it's a grown-ass person, then it starts to tiptoe into the line of an obsession. And don't nobody need that. You can like it. You can like some shit somebody does without obsessing over them. And don't get me wrong, because back in the times where my mental health was not where it was, I had obsessions. I will admit that shit. And I look back on that shit and cringe the fuck. What was wrong with? Oh my gosh. The only thing with me is I will not embarrass myself. So I'm not stalking I'm not going to nobody's house. I'm not going to find a phone number and call them over and over. Like, I'm not going to do that. I may just like obsess over them on the internet or some shit in secret. And then nobody knows about it. And then like slowly start to heal from that and come out of that and look back on that and be like, wow, that's the same mentality of them stalker people that was on that Netflix show and shit. You just don't want to get in trouble. Because I'm not going to jail for nobody. I'm not about to look crazy in front of the world for nobody. I don't care how much I obsess over somebody. Like, no, fuck all that. See, I think like Ashley is a little bit of a puppy dog and Melissa's just like, you didn't have to wear my Red Witch costume. We didn't have to match. She gonna say that because Melissa was like, I've been planning this since June, and then Ashley gonna say with her oven mitt fucking gloves, yeah, I've been planning this since June. No, you haven't, girl. Shut up. You haven't been planning this since June. No, you haven't, girl. So anyways, little baby Thanos in a Halloween episode is like, he's addicted to candy or some shit and steals all the candy, gives it all to kids and shit, and they run around the school trying to find him. And what's her name, Janine, is in this episode. She's trying to just grow and like figure out like how to build a friendship, if she wants a friendship. One of the kids, I think it was baby Thanos' aunt, is like an old friend of hers, and she invited her to like a what is it, a Halloween party. And Janine was just like, I don't know nobody there. She seems nice, but I don't know her. Just so shy, just so anxious. But then throughout the episode, Janine's asking everybody what they're doing, and they're doing stuff. Like, they're busy. They have friends outside of school. Janine is scared to make friends because all her friends were Tariq's friends, and so she never really actually made any friends out. She didn't have nothing outside of this nigga, and now she doesn't have nothing outside of this school. So basically, in a roundabout way, Melissa talks her into, making friends outside of the school. And so, by the end, she agrees to go to the birthday party and to the Halloween party. And during all of this, her and Gregory are just flirting here and there.
Tell her how good she looks, Gregory.
Yeah, no, you look, it looks great. Really form-fitting.
Gross.
Being cute and shit. And I'm just like, ah. But these episodes are showing that Janine ain't ready. She ain't ready for no relationship. She needs to heal. So as she heals, like in the first episode with the Jews, she basically gets read for filth by Barbara that she needs to listen when people say no. And not try to just be overbearing and you don't have to do that. You just be chill. So she kind of learns her lesson in that episode, and that kind of helps her. I'm not saying it's a full 180 change, but it plants a seed inside of her head that she needs to really work on this anxiety shit. And then in this episode, she starts to create hobbies and friendships outside of school. So it's kind of getting her prepared for the third episode with the ad attack. And, in that episode, we see Aaron Burr, sir. Guys, I love Hamilton, even though it's like basically racist because those are white people that were slave owners, and I'm going to tell the truth as I see it. The songs are amazing, but it's the truth. So be honest with yourselves, people. Those white people owned slaves. They did not like black people. They were not freedom fighters. Washington had teeth made out of slaves. But we see Aaron Burr in this episode, and he is the owner of legendary charter schools. And he is trying to get Abbott Elementary closed. So he creates this ad that says all the teachers there are bad. And the teachers invited the cameraman in the school because they think they the other cameraman. I mean, I'm wondering if in this universe, like, aren't they filming them to put them on TV? Isn't this like a documentary? But then like they be filming documentaries like years early sometimes, like 3-4 years early. And then they put it all together. And then like 3-4 years later. So they may not even be considering that this shit is going to be on television. So they make this ad and basically making the teachers look semi-bad. I don't think it looked that bad. Like, they had to slow Janine's voice down when she was telling the little girl to sit down because Janine's not yelling at this little girl. No, they don't. And then Melissa was like, I guess she was teaching them about money and she was collecting the money and was like, this seems a little light. And this is like, okay, y'all just took it and stretched it because you couldn't find nothing else. And apparently Aaron Burr, that's his name. I don't care nobody. That's his name. His name is Aaron Burr. Aaron Burr he has like some trauma from his home life. He like has trauma from being shuffled around public schools, and his only saving grace was charter schools. So he wants to give charter schools to all the children, and it's like, no, because there's no such thing as one thing being a cure-all. Other things helped you, like having Barbara as your teacher, maybe having other mentors in your life, maybe even stepping your toe into therapy. But no, he is setting himself up to be the villain of the show. And that's cool. We got like a plot point now. It's not just like, and I wouldn't have minded if it was just random episodes with the underlying story of Janine and Gregory getting married one day. But, if you would have added some little super villain plot, that's cool too. So, anyways, they trying to figure out how to get the commercial taken down. They realize they can't because they invited these niggas into the school and it wasn't under false pretenses because they were there to film them. So during the course of this, like, Gregory is low-key, like, I don't know if he's talking to the parent or if the parent is talking to him, this parent from his class sent him like a little message in a bag of candy, but he doesn't eat anything that isn't 96% cacao. Go off, autistic. Yes. He said, I only drink nature's juice, water. And I was just like, so like fruits don't have juice? That's not nature's juice. Like if I were to take an orange and like, juice it, that's not nature's juice. I'm just curious. Like, where's the logic there? How does that make sense? He's over here. So he gives the bag of candy to Janine in the Halloween episode, and Janine finds the note, and she look all sad in the face because she like him. Yes, she does. Yes, she does. Yes, she does. They like each other. They're just not in the. Gregory's fine. She's not in the place in her life where she can introduce another person because she's clingy, she's needy, and she doesn't have a life of her own. And that's not healthy to have in a relationship, because Gregory seemed like the type that likes to isolate sometimes or have his own time. He has friends outside of school. Like, no, girl, because he's not the type that you can put him on a pedestal and obsess. There's nothing there to fix. Maybe he needs some help with his relationship with his dad, but I could see him figuring that out too. So she's not there yet. But I think she feels the type of way when she sees him talking to this mom. And then all of a sudden, episode 3, Tariq shows up. He wants to get his shit. And you could tell she a little bit excited because Tariq was her end all be all for what she said was like a decade. And so she a little excited, trying to act like she not. I'm just like, ew. And so this nigga show up, and of course he crosses boundaries and just walks into her fucking class. First of all, why is the school letting this strange man on campus? Why didn't they alert her class to the fact that this strange man was on campus, and if he could come to her class? Things like that. The school may have peeling wallpaper and broken toilets, but there's still a structure that we have because we live in America, and there's school shooters and people that kidnap children. People don't just let you walk into a school, is all I'm saying. But he gets to walk in there. I don't care if he did sing a little ditty on the stage and about drugs. Why are you back without letting people know? Just crossing boundaries, overstepping, things like that. Walks up in her classroom. She's like, what are you doing here? And did that, but she thinks it's cute because she forgot that he's trash. And so I think the growth that she's had in the last 2 episodes, being able to accept that you need to respect people's boundaries, starting to build a friendship outside of school. And she's, the aunt even came and was talking to her about this show that she watched, and she was just like, oh, you really are like a Midwestern. So, like a white Midwestern housewife or something. Because she watched this couponing show. I used to watch that, and then I kind of wanted to do it, but I don't have the attention span for that. I can't. I was collecting coupons, and I was just like, this shit is boring. I don't want to do this. I'm just gonna because I eat too much. Like, I'm fast metabolism and shit. I can't be over here like, just give me free shit. Like, well, I gotta collect, because I was watching these shows and these people was buying like $400 worth of groceries for like either nothing at all or like a couple dollars. And I was like, I don't want to do that, but that shit is hard work and attention. And so anyway, she making friends. They talking about shows and shit. It's growing. There's growth here. So that built up enough armor for her to realize that he's trash. This nigga gonna sit in her classroom, and then he gonna invite her to Bahama Breeze. That sound like Islands. If y'all ever been to Islands, that's a little restaurant. That's a little restaurant in California. I don't know. It may be in other states too, but it's like got this little tropical theme, and they sell burgers and shit. But it's just it's okay. It's not like horrible or gross. It's just okay. But it's not like if you are really apologetic. All I'm saying is that I think it's because it's coupled with everything else that happened in the episode. If he invited her to Bahama Breeze and like drove her there and was nice and had shown that he had changed, then maybe I'll be like, but it just adds to it. It's like, you cheap ass nigga. You cheap ass nigga. You I don't care. It's so like, she's kind of happy about it. She's just trying to like play it off and act like it's not a big deal. And then she walk up to her desk. This nigga done drew their picture in the desk in permanent marker. Not even considering that this is her classroom. Kids sit here. You can't just be drawing in permanent marker on school property. And oh my gosh, this nigga's trash. And then this nigga gonna text her talking about his ride isn't here yet. Or his ride isn't coming and she's gonna have to drive to Bahama Breeze. And I'm just, girl. And then cherry on top of the fucking cake, this nigga done ate half her sandwich. He was just like, oh yeah, I owe you half a sandwich. And really, nigga? You owe her half a sandwich. You was sitting up in her classroom. Cheap, broke ass thing. I'm tired. And so that like brought her back to her senses, and she was just like, you know what? You know, sometimes you just need things to remind you of a person's trashiness. Like, you over here taking advantage of her, and then he gonna get mad when she come out and say that she just wants to have like a platonic friendship and not have to go on like out to eat, where we don't go out to eat together. And he gonna get mad and be like, well, I'm just gonna call my girlfriend to come pick me up. She's the fourth woman I've been with. Or the third woman I've been with, but feels like the fourth with things we do. And I'm like, nigga, well, you call that bitch up and you have her come get your ass and shit, and don't cross my path again. And then come to find out, Tariq did the song for Legendary Schools. It was just like, this nigga. I just want Aaron Burr to sing. I want him to sing a song full bravado like he did in Hamilton. Just give us one song. It don't gotta be a Hamilton song. Just be a song. Like, even when he sang the Legendary School, he was holding back, and I was upset. I was like, why did you hold the little girl walking down the hall singing it didn't hold back? Why are you just like Legendary School? No, at least sing the motherfucker. These bastards, sing it. No, that nigga can sing. I don't care. Shit. I looked him up. That nigga is 5'7". I was just like, oh, he's kind of cute. I was like, oh, he's 5'7". He's cute for somebody. Look here, I am 5'9", and I am on the latter end of 5'9", more towards 5'10". Okay, I want to feel like a dainty fairy princess, you know, just can be tossed up in the air and caught in a fireman's hold, you know, just hold me across your arms. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. I want what I want. So somebody probably likes it. He probably got a whole wife and child and shit. You know what I mean? I just want him to sing a song. Whatever song they make up in here with his full breaths, I want him to sing that song. And then I can just, you know, it's a vibe. But anyways, over these 3 episodes, we just kind of seen Janine progress and grow out of this mental health issue that she has. She still needs to go to therapy. Like, we can have moments in our lives that teach us a lesson, but some things there needs to be consistency around. So you need to go to therapy so you can learn a consistent way to overcome the feelings of anxiety that rise up in you when you're triggered. And you need to learn what your triggers are so you can prep for them and learn coping skills to get through them that are better than the coping skills that you have. Because fixing everything and crossing people's boundaries is not okay. That's all I'm saying. That's And that girl Ashley better get her shit together before she get popped in. I'm so sad. And it's wrong. It's wrong. But the shit she was doing as a grown ass adult, I was just like, you came to this job because you wanted to sit up here and play with kids. That's it. And you could do that at a daycare. They be playing with them kids the whole time. And then, you know, occasionally they have to like feed them and, you know, sing songs and do shit like that. But you ain't got to teach them shit, really. You ain't got to teach them math and science. Daycares, they just be chilling. You could do that at a fucking daycare, but they don't get paid that much. Teachers' aides don't get paid that much either. But still, they probably get paid more than daycare workers. I don't know. You can own a daycare, then you be making like 6 figures and shit, depending on how many kids you got up in that motherfucker. See, there's so many things. There are other ways that she could fall into that need to just sit up and play with children all fucking day that does not involve being in a structured school environment where children need to learn and play. That's all I'm saying. But first she needs to recognize that she has a problem. That's all I'm what? She has a problem. And that's okay. I have problems. Some problems I acknowledge, some problems I put to the side and deal with later because they're not stopping me from living my life right now. So, there you go. And that is my journey. I just try not to intrude on other people's journeys with my problems because that's rude. Unless, we are close enough and then I'll talk to you about my problems and shit, but I'm not going to intrude in a way that stops you from living your life and doing what you need to do. Like that bitch. I'm being mean and it's wrong and stuff. She's trying her best. Like I said, I don't want you coming for me thinking I'm talking about, this is my own anxiety. That I have been working on for years, ever since working like with people in therapy, especially when I was working at the agency with kids and them kids was like they was like the needy kids. What are they called? Lord Jesus, I forgot. What are they called? The kids that are in need, the children that are in need and stuff. And their parents would just not be aware of mental health stuff like they supposed to, and they would just be all over the place. And I was just like, let's take some deep breaths. Let's play Uno. Let's do calming. Let's listen to this calming meditation for children. Let's do some yoga stretches. And it was just like, and then sometimes I just had to sit there and let them talk and run off a mile a minute as long as they wasn't touching shit. I had one kid one time that was running around and just pulling shit off and throwing it on the floor, and I damn near had a panic attack. I was just sitting there like, what do I do? What do I do? How do I? And then I just got up and called one of the school people to come get me because I couldn't do anything. I was just like, I didn't know. I wasn't scared like for my like life or like I was in danger. I was just like, I didn't know how to make them not feel that way. That's what it is. 'Cause if I don't know how to make you not feel bad or overwhelmed and shit, I start getting anxious. See, because I'm a fixer. Just like Janine used to have the same fucking issues, trying to find problems to fix that weren't even fucking problems. Still have that issue sometimes today, but it's not as bad, and it's just be triggering me, and I just be like, I can't fix this. This person is not gonna be happy. Like I've had clients like I think it's extreme mental health when your mental health issues are so extreme, like you can't even do nothing, you can't even talk. And I've had clients that were so depressed that all they could do was come to session. They couldn't say nothing. You ask them a question, they just sitting there in silence, and I just be like, do I sit here in silence with you? How many sessions will we be sitting in? Does sitting in silence help? Because it doesn't look like it. My mind just be running like a mile a second. Just like, how can I fix this? How can I make this person talk? And then I have to just start to learn, like, yeah, sometimes you just got to sit there in silence. It's fine, and some people come around and some people just stay that way. And you can't make them. You can't make them heal, Jasmine. You cannot make these people heal. And so I got them kids with them ADHD problems, and it's not like they didn't want to heal. Their parents just didn't believe in medication. Like I could tell when somebody got ADHD versus when they're just a little hyper kid. It's a difference. There's a tell. They cannot be calmed down when they are in that. It almost looks like a damn mania and shit in a kid. It just be like, like talking fast and running around and want to do a bunch of shit. Like I be outside on the playground playing sports with them and shit, throwing balls and fucking jeans and a blouse. You know how people dress back in the early 2010s and shit. Walking around in fucking business casual at the club and shit. I was wearing that shit to work. Walking around with a basketball trying to play with them on the basketball court so they can like run that shit out. Well, sitting up there tired with my back hurt. That was before I knew I had scoliosis and shit. So I wasn't trying to do all of that. But I did it for the children. Yes, I did. See, I be learning stuff about myself doing these videos. That's why that bitch was irritating. It's just like, how do we fix you so that you can control this? Cause I don't think you realize that you have this issue and that it's a problem. Just like Ava don't realize she probably got some shit going on and that sometimes it's a problem, and that's why people don't think you're a competent principal. See, sometimes you gotta sit down and process through stuff, even the stuff that you feel like is derogatory or fucked up or some shit. You really just gotta sit there and be like, where did these feelings and thoughts come from? Why do I sound like this? Why do I feel like this? Because if I said this out loud, it would be offensive. And then as you think more and more about it, you like, oh, that makes sense. I don't dislike these people. This shit, I just feel bad because I can't fix them. And that's a me problem. That's not a them problem. And so that's some shit that I need to work on in therapy, which I am going to today. It's Monday. So I'm going to therapy today. See, look at. Tell my therapist about this. See, that's why you be in therapy. So you can talk about all the shit that comes up in your life. And then you can have like a sounding board instead of just sitting in your own head with it. Because most people just be scared to talk about shit. They be like, I'm going to bother my friends if I talk to them. It's going to bother your friends if you don't talk to them about it. Because what happens is if your friends are talking to you about shit and spilling their heart and you never open up to them about your shit, they're going to start wondering like, why she don't open up to me? Why she don't talk? I be telling she know about everything about me. I don't know shit about her. Is she not my real friend? Does she not trust me? Is she gonna take all this shit and use it against me? I don't like that. I'm here. I can support her. Because real friends want to help you and be there for you, and not real friends want to make you feel bad about your shit. And so when you do tell them shit and they make you feel bad, then you use your magical powers called boundaries and you say, oh, well, you don't give a shit. Okay, well, I'll go over here and try to make other friends and build that up, and then try again once I feel comfortable that they may give a shit. And then, keep trying until I find the right people, because you don't give a shit. And that was my sign to leave, because you making me feel bad about some shit that hurt me. I'm not okay with that. No. See, that way it's not personal. That person has the issue, not you. See? Yeah, it's good. It's good to learn about yourself. So I'm excited to see the progress of Janine over the course of the season, because each episode shows her healing. I don't even want to say healing, because just because you have incidences where you learn some shit doesn't mean that you're fully healed. It just means that you're learning shit about yourself that maybe you want to take to a therapist to learn even more about it, instead of just be like, oh, well, this is fine. This incident taught me everything I need to know about myself and where this comes. No, girl, it sounded like you was neglected by your mom, and there's some shit in there you need to work on and stuff. And hopefully, this nigga Gregory stays single. They keep making eyes at each other. They keep flirting with each other. You ain't supposed to wait on nobody, okay? That's why they show him dating and shit, because that's healthy. That's why they show her healing, because that's what she need to be doing. You ain't supposed to wait on nobody. If it happens, it happens. But this is a TV show, and I won't have my romance. They fuck me over, and this nigga get married to somebody else. I don't even want to have whatchamacallit. What's that show with Jasmine guy and that other nigga, and they was in college and shit. And this to get married and this thing gonna run down the aisle talking about I love you. And I'm just like, no, I don't even want one of them. No, they need to form a normal ass relationship that we would see if it was two white folks. That's all I'm saying. I don't care. I said what I said. Then they need to get together and be together. Then they can be the couple of the school. And then we can have shows with them and still having hijinks and shit while they're the couple of the school. Yeah, they may break up a couple times because Janine got issues and stuff. She ain't gonna be fully healed. She need like a few years of therapy before she's chill. But you know, they gonna get married and have babies and it's be beautiful. I don't care. Don't come for me. And so wherever it ends up, it's gonna be interesting. And then we got this little mini plot where with Aaron Burr trying to, you know, take over all the public schools and shit. I'm not 100% sure why that's a problem still. I posted a little picture graph of why charter schools are kind of not that great, but I'm not that sure exactly why they're not that great again. And I'm not a teacher are in the school system anymore, and I forgot why they're not that great for the students and the teachers and the district sometimes. I think they funnel kids in there, but not every kid can get in there. And then they have to have lotteries and shit like that for every kid to get in there, and not every kid gets to get in there and get the top tier education that you would get at a private school, at a charter school. And so like it leaves a bunch of kids out not getting top tier education or whatever the fuck. And then some other stuff too, probably. And you know, y'all can comment below and let me know like why that may be a problem, why charter schools may be a problem. I saw that documentary a few years back when I was in grad school about schools. I forgot what it was about. I forgot the name of it. I don't be knowing the name of shit. What is the name of that show? And the college was Hillman College. Y'all know what I'm talking about, with Jasmine Guy and that nigga with them weird glasses and shit. I don't want to see that. I want a straight up love story just as sappy as them Korean dramas and them novellas. I want it saccharine sweet, just like Insecure. I want it as sweet as possible. You see, I manifest. I put the romance books out. I don't give a fuck. That's what I want, and that's what I hope I get. two brown people that look like me. You know, dark-skinned people looking like me, falling in love. One of them may or may not be autistic. The other one got anxiety, mental health issues and shit. And we see them grow and change and evolve and work on their shit. And then they come together and they get married and they have little brown babies and it's beautiful. Little black babies, whatever y'all calling it now. Sometimes they're brown, sometimes they're black. I don't fucking know. So yeah, let me know how y'all feel about the last 3 episodes, and I will get back on track next week with the 8th episode. I don't know what it's about. I didn't look. I don't know. And you know, I hope you enjoyed this review. I hope it was special and fun for you. I think that rhymes. See, I could make up shit too, just like that dog ass nigga Tyreek. What is Tyreek? Where the fuck his name is gonna pick Brenda's flowers and shit out her garden and shit. I don't know the fuck he was burying them back in there like he should, as he should, bitch. I don't like him. I don't like people that take advantage of other people, then use that like ignorance that's on purpose to act like he don't know what the fuck he doing when he does know what the fuck he's doing, because it's a pattern. When things are a pattern, that means that you're aware that you're doing the thing, you know, and you're doing it on purpose after a certain point because you do it all the time. Okay? I don't care. And if somebody tell you they don't, like, I know I do things that are a pattern. Nervous tics, little things that I say and shit like that. And I could easily be like, oh, I didn't know that I did that. Yeah, girl, please. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Because even if someone brings it to light, it may not be on the conscious level, but as soon as somebody brings it to light, like, do you know that you always like, that shit should float to the top. Be like, when you think back on it, it should float to the top. So no, that is on purpose ignorance. It's manipulative and it's trash. And she's a nice person, and you can't be out here hurting people, especially not nice people who are nothing but giving and kind and loving like Janine is, and it ain't right. And now look, she out in the world all fucked up and shit and don't got no fucking friends or hobbies because she was all caught up in your ass and shit. And the thing is that that yes, it's on her to get fixed, but if you with somebody in a relationship and they love and care about you, they should spot that shit and be like, hey, do you know that like you always like do stuff for me, and sometimes like you don't really have to do those things, or you do things that I don't necessarily need you to do, and like it seems like you're really anxious about doing those things. Like you do a lot of stuff for me to make me happy, but you never really do anything for you. Like all my friends are all our friends are my friends. You don't have friends for yourself. You don't have hobbies really. Like I go out and play ball with my friends and stuff, and you don't you just be in the house all the time, and you don't necessarily look happy and stuff. So like, you know, do you notice that? And then when you had a conversation, they be like, oh, and then like maybe that'll trigger them to go get help. But if it doesn't, then it's up to you to decide, do you want to be in a relationship with somebody that doesn't love themselves and doesn't see themselves and may never see themselves? And, you know, can you handle the neediness of that, the clinginess of that, especially when you do need your own space, or you do need to figure out your own shit sometimes and stuff like that. And some people can't do that shit. And sometimes that's healthier to leave somebody like that so that they can figure themselves out, instead of staying in a situation and enabling them to still be that way. Because it's not abusive, but it's just like, you sucking them dry kind of emotionally and stuff, and it's like you a part of, now you're playing a part in their own mental health issues because you're enabling it. You know what I mean? I hope that made sense. It sounded long. So I think it made sense. But yeah, you just playing a part in their demise. Like, you're not really like, either you're enabling them or you're manipulating them, or you're manipulating and enabling them. It's not helpful for people that are anxious and overwhelmed and people pleasing. It's just gonna make them stay that way. Like codependent. That's what she was. Her whole life depended on this nigga to the point where she couldn't even pay her rent for 3 months. That's codependency. When it gets to the point where you can't function in certain areas of your life because of this nigga or this bitch or this non-binary motherfucker, then, you know, that's called codependency, and that's not healthy. And so, yeah, fuck that nigga. He was taking advantage of her and making her illnesses worse, instead of just being a man and just living his own life and either calling it out or just leaving and letting her figure it out. Like, he didn't break up with her, she broke up with him. That nigga would have stayed mooching off of her forever. He wanted her to quit her job and move all the way to however far Philadelphia is from New York City. And, you know, that nigga ain't shit. He don't care about her and her feelings and her emotion. He cares about himself and what she can do for him. That's all he cares about. And that's what makes him trash. So, right, poofs, right. So anyways, that's my review, and I hope you enjoyed it. And, you know, I hope you too believe Tyreek is trash. And if you don't, you know, keep it to yourself. We don't need, if you don't agree with something, like when I don't agree with some shit, unless it's just like harmful or crazy or some shit, you know, I just scroll past. I just like, oh, that's not, because I'm not going to change my mind. You know, that's why I always say I don't argue with ignorance, because usually ignorance isn't going to change their mind and you're just wasting energy. And that's not, I don't have the energy to waste. I already have to like help people every day and do all that stuff and then take that energy. So any free time that I have, I'm going to just focus on me and things and people that make me happy. And so I'm not here to argue with people that want to cape for this nigga that was like manipulating her weaknesses and vulnerabilities just so that he can feel good and happy. It's like fuck boys, and they be talking about how, oh, I didn't tell her we weren't together, but you accepted the gifts. You let her cook for you. You did boyfriend couple shit occasionally and like basically dangled the carrot and shit. Like, you don't think that affects somebody that already has feelings for you? You think that she's just gonna be like, oh no, you know, no, like you don't have empathy. Watching somebody that I don't like try to please me makes me feel gross inside. I feel like I'm taking advantage of somebody. Some niggas don't be feeling that, and I just be like, you don't have empathy. You don't feel anything inside for other people's feelings and emotions and how you impact them. Yes, they should figure it out for themselves, but it's hard to figure it out for yourself when you have someone externally making you feel like shit and double validating the shit that you already feel on the inside. So, you know what I mean? Like, it's easier to heal when you don't have the distraction. Is what I'm saying. It's harder to heal. You got to pull some shit out of yourself in order to be strong enough to want to heal when you have these abusive, manipulative distractions in your ear at the same time. You're already talking shit to yourself about how you don't feel good enough. This nigga don't even be adding shit. What? So, for people that can't get out of them situations, I just feel bad. That's sad, but I understand it takes a lot, and not all of us is going to make it, because that shit is hard as fuck to face your emotions and what you've been through and shit. So, fuck that nigga. I don't like him. It takes so much to heal, and this nigga is over here just like taking advantage of people and limiting them from healing. That's what you're doing. You ain't shit. Fuck him. But yes, anyways, I hope you enjoyed this special show that I have done. Like, share, subscribe, because monies is good for everybody. I was watching this shit and they was talking about how like people that be online doing mental health shit is like profiting off of people's mental health issues, and I'm just like, my nigga, do you know how hard it is to help people? If I didn't make monies and do self-care, I wouldn't be strong enough to help people. I wouldn't be capable to help people. Like, I would just, like that social worker that Mariah Carey played on Precious. That's how I would be. Just like, bitch, I don't care what you... I don't know. What? Okay, well, that's why you got these motherfuckers out here underpaid, burnt the fuck out, and not helping people properly, because they don't have the funds or the ability to take care of themselves and recharge on a regular basis so that they can help people heal and do stuff on a regular basis. So, you know what? I need the monies. We all need the monies, and I wish monies on you, and I wish monies on me, and I wish we all had monies, or just a world without monies, and we could just like walk through the gardens naked like we were supposed to in the Bible and eat random fruits and shit off the trees. But yes, let me get the fuck off. I'm rambling. I think I drank too much. I hope you enjoyed this space and all the things. Later days.